Sipping slow, yakking the act, thinking I'm the man.
Oh, champ. Look here, man. Apparently, there's a war going on. Wack 100 is taking it upon himself to jump into the smoke that Akademiks has with two TDE affiliates, which is T-Rel and Smack. Right? If you're not familiar with T-Rel and Smack, they both host on Back on Fig podcast. Back on Fig. All right. As you know, Smack is very close friends with Schoolboy Q and etc. Used to be known as TDE Smack at one point. And then we got T-Rel. Both were at the pop-out show that Kendrick had out there. All right, in Inglewood. Yeah, so these are TDE affiliates who have been out here pretty much saying that Akademiks got pressed by Dave Free and Anthony Sala, who is the manager of Kendrick Lamar. All right, so here's Wack 100 saying that he's declaring war on these guys with No Jumper, by the way. And we're going to get into some No Jumper footage too, because they actually spoke to Ak. I want you to run up these likes, smash the like, share the video. Let's take a look. All champ.
Oh boy, here we go, you guys. It's officially wartime. Now, if you guys have not watched the last video, please make sure you guys go check it out so you're not confused. Looks like things have officially escalated between DJ Akademiks and everybody at Back on Fig, T-Rel, Smack, Heather, everybody. And you guys know exactly what time it is. It's time to officially pick a side. A couple days ago, T-Rel and Smack put out the narrative that DJ Akademiks was actually confronted and offered a fade by Dave Free and Anthony Saleh. Apparently, this all happened when DJ Akademiks went to Detroit for the Kendrick show, which Akademiks confirmed that they asked them a couple questions about Drake and Kendrick. Hey, do you work for Drake? How much does he pay you to put out these bad narratives about Kendrick? Now, according to Akademiks, nobody offered him a fade. Akademiks then goes on to challenge T-Rel, Smack, and all podcasters from LA to actually go outside, not just to Cali shows, but to any Drake show of their choosing. Well, looks like Wack 100 has something to say about it, and in a very shocking twist, Wack is not rolling with the West Coast. Wack 100 has officially backed DJ Akademiks in his beef with T-Rel and Smack, issuing a warning telling them to stand down or he's going to start firing shots.
Now, before we get to that Wack video, first of all, big salute to Chase Smooth. I forgot to say that in the beginning because it's a Chase Smooth video. Salute to Chase Smooth. Subscribe to Chase Smooth. Very familiar with Chase. Listen, I don't want y'all to think that this is serious because a lot of times y'all be falling for the same tricks over and over again. This is a play. Wack 100 is about to run a play. This is all a play in the name of clout. You see Wack with his grandmama glasses on. You know exactly where this is going. As a matter of fact, those are really rat glasses, all right? This is to fix rat vision, to make rat vision more 2020-ish, if that makes sense to y'all. By the way, okay? Run these likes up. Let's continue.
Check this out. Don't be mistaken, homie. No Jumper, we stand with Akademiks, right? No Jumper and the Academy, we ride as one. Ain't finna be all that double teaming. Everybody thinking they bigger than the program. They listen. I hate to say it. You know, it's a couple guys over there. Well, really one guy I got major love for. That's like family. But hey, listen, with war come casualties. Either y'all stand down with Ak, right? You know, this just like war. The U.S., we keep our ships in the water everywhere. Whoever we with, we with. Ak ain't got to come this far, bro. Don't make us start firing shots. You been warned. You understand me? What's a community without no Jumper? Huh? Yeah. Fuck around and find out.
Wack then goes on to say, warning, No Jumper stands with DJ Akademiks. T-Rel, Fig Community, you've been warned. Mount up, it's on. He tags everybody that works at No Jumper and says, to my back doors over there, be ready to open that window. We stand with the Academy, you've been warned. Now, I'm not going to say the obvious here, I'm just gonna let this all play out. And you guys know exactly what I mean. Now, I will say this, it's very interesting that Wack is choosing to support DJ Akademiks over guys like T-Rel and Smack. Wack is someone who's always been frontline for the West Coast. Anytime there's any beef involving West Coast people, Wack has always stood next to them. Maybe this is all a big media play for Wack.
It is, Chigs. It's 1000% a media play, bro. It's 1000% a media play, and you know we both know this too. We not dumb. We know. You know. We know. We didn't see it time and time again. Now, of course, he's gonna do this, bro. You already know that T-Rail and them already got problems with Adam 22. If you don't know, T-Rail used to be a no jumper host once upon a time, and he has issues with Adam 22. Adam 22 takes shots at him every now and again. T-Rail is somebody who is, you know, I wouldn't say personally handicapped, but he's missing a limb, so to speak, all right? And that is often targeted by his op, Adam 22. Now, of course, of course, Ack has issues with T-Rail, all right? Just because of this narrative. He didn't before. He never really had problems with Wack on Fig, per se, until this Drake-Kendrick beef started. Or battle, should I say, because the beef been going on for years. Battle started. Now Ack is against him. But the only reason Wack is jumping on this is because he already knows that there's smoke with No Jumper and back on Fig when it comes to Adam 22 per se. Not so much the host of No Jumper outside of Adam. Not so much the host outside of Adam, but mostly Adam is the one that has smoke with like Fig Immunity World as well as back on Fig. Alright. So this is the only reason that Wack's jumping in the mix, because he knows it's gonna get views, clicks. There's gonna be outrage. So he loves to jump in on beefs, especially when it's like against the West. Let's keep it going.
He knows he can make more money by being on DJ Akademiks' side, obviously over T-Rail and Smack. Listen, man, you guys get in the comments below. What do you guys make of Wack choosing Akademiks over back on Fig? Post your comments below. Subscribe to my channel, like this video. I'll see you guys later, man.
The unfortunate part.
So in this Ack audio, you're gonna hear him admitting to copping, please. I already covered this in my last live stream that I did. You're gonna hear him admit to copping, please, and more stuff that pretty much go against everything that Ack was saying about standing on business when it came to meeting up with Dave Free and Anthony Sela. Facts. You're gonna see. Well, we're gonna run it.
Part of it, I'm now starting to think, because y'all know how I get. I'm starting to think if they're speaking for TDE, because if they're speaking for TDE, I'll take it to 10,000 levels up. I can't tell if they're getting some information and trying to get their failing show some buzz, which I understand. Or if they're speaking for TDE, I'll start getting it up there that they gotta release the video. Now everybody gotta see it. So I'm trying to still remain respectful, but I'm getting to the point where I'm saying if they're the spokesperson for TDE, I'll have no problem introducing some disrespect to force that. I know they have a video, to force the video to come out that everybody can see it. Now, here's the thing, and this is why I respect people like, I think both of these niggas are damn near handicapped. One nigga got 1 foot, one nigga got 1 hand. Both of you suckers are gang members. I'm a civilian. You know why I popped up to that show? Because I could go any fucking where I want. I proved it. I literally said if a TDE nigga raised a hand at me, it would be his last fucking day living. And I still went to the show and chilled. And y'all the tough niggas, not me. I'm supposed to cop please.
You're not supposed to cop please, nigga, because you were so much standing on business. And you saying that you're supposed to cop a plea automatically lets us know that, hey, you got press. Hey, Dave Free and Anthony Sela came to you and you ain't had the same energy. That's what that means. That's what that means. Literally, this is the exact definition of getting pressed. Oh, I'm supposed to cop please because I'm not a gang member? What type of cop out is that? Whether you a member or not, that don't mean you gotta cop please if you a member or not. They what are you talking about? Champ, Dave Free and Anthony Sela, they pressed you, bro. Because you wouldn't even be going on like this if they didn't press you. They did something. They walked up in that goddamn suite of yours in Detroit at the GNX concert and had you under pressure, champ. And now you say you're supposed to cop please. Now you're making excuses for the reason you copped the plea. Insane. But let's continue, gang.
I'm supposed to. Y'all niggas not supposed to talk crazy about me and not do nothing. But whatever. So let's speak about it. For y'all two little suckers up there, I'll give y'all some Drake tickets. Y'all go to OVO show. Because I've been popping up on people the last 2-3 months. I haven't seen you suck ass niggas go nowhere but under Kendrick Lamar's ball sack for the last. Okay, I told myself I was gonna chill. Alright. Smack and this other nigga. I got tickets for y'all to the Drake show. You tell me your experience. When you tell me your experience, we can have all the conversation you need. But the point is this. I don't want to litigate this anymore on podcasts. But I will. If this is, and here's my thing. I don't like intermediates. Dave Free could say something if he feels anything I've said is not fair. Anthony Select could say something. But I don't think they will. Because everything I said was fair. And if Dave Free thought he pressed me, he should speak. But, lo and behold, nothing's going to happen. At the end of the day, man, I don't care. Yo, y'all West Coast niggas, y'all didn't put fear in nobody's heart. I booked a flight. I came to y'all. It's y'all time to start pulling up on niggas. Okay? You don't put no fear in nobody's heart. I went to y'all. Let's reverse it. You start pulling up on anybody else. Okay? Because these two little handicapped idiots right here, we ain't even, nigga, I pulled up to y'all show in New York. I had a bunch of gang members up, nigga, I pulled up.
Okay. He did. He pulled up. I don't know if that was back on Figmunity. They had a New York show. Akademiks was actually on stage, and somebody was in the crowd talking crazy to Act, and he was definitely a gang member. Act told him to pull up to the stage. He pulled up to the stage, and the guy was ready for Act, but those guys on stage, AD and other people, were trying to stop the dude from going after Act, and Act was just backing up. Act was just backing up. Act ain't do it. Act just be selling wolf tickets. He ain't on nothing. He get drunk, he get some courage, but as soon as he in a situation, he gonna cop, please. That's what he's gonna do. He's not on timing. He's not ready for real smoke. He's just not. You dig? And he is admitting pretty much that he got pressed by Dave Free and Anthony. So he is. You know, it's just a fact. But let's get to the no jumper footage. Let's jump to the no jumper footage. Yeah, so we're about to listen to this no jumper footage. This is where Adam gets a call from Act, and here's the war that's going on, gang. Run up these lights.
I'm not gonna play with nobody over
Akademiks.
What's cracking?
What's going on, man? Hey, we seen you with these harsh words for Figmunity. We're hearing about you potentially getting pressed by Dave Free. You got the internet in a frenzy, and we talking about it.
How soft you
If
is.
you just called me that I could finish off your dirty work. Hey, listen, I was just confused. I'm like, they can't even handle Adam. Why they coming that big act?
Yo, bro, that's the crazy shit about it is that I can't really see T-Rail doing the same thing that he does to everybody else, because everybody else, he says, fuck you, fuck your mama, you's a bitch. I don't think that he can really do that to somebody that he considers to be like a god or like, you know, someone who's so much more popular than him, because he's like mentally, he's a slave to people who are more popular. Like I don't doubt for a second that he would suck Kai Cenat.
Calling him a slave in any way, shape, or form is insane, by the way. That's kind of wild. I ain't gonna hold you. That's insane, gang. Oh, champ.
Dick for a droplet of
Don't
clout.
they call Ack and Kaiser not big bro?
For
Haven't they referred to
sure.
both of them as big bro?
I can't understand how they instantly came with this like fabricated thing. Put it like this. I'll give you the recap. So I'm voluntarily going to wherever I need to go. I know Kendrick's gonna have the best, not best, but definitely the highest grossing tour. I wanted to see it. I had tickets in Jersey. I missed it. I was actually on stream. I said I'm gonna make it to a show. The only show I could have make it to was the Detroit show. I go there. Listen, keep in mind, I'm a civilian. I'm not no.
Hey, bro, that civilian shit trash, bro.
So I'm just cooling, right? So I go to the show. Now,
Munchie B don't. I'm not gonna say Munchie B is the only real person there. Munchie B is calling it like this. Like it. He said that civilian issue is lame, bro. It is lame. Stop making excuses. You keep putting yourself in situations where, hey, these West Coast gangsters ain't on time and they not gonna do nothing to me. They scary. Okay, so now you put yourself in that same environment. Once you're presenting a threat or you're calling the bluff of some gang members, you might as well be a member yourself. You might as well be in these streets because you're putting yourself in that environment, in that setting. You can't claim civilian because you're copying a plea once you claim civilian gang. I want y'all to know this. Just because Akademiks is calling himself civilian is him copying a plea because it's an excuse as to why he shouldn't be involved with gang stuff, but he's putting himself in it anyway. Stop saying you a civilian but not doing civilian things. You don't have to say you a civilian, because if you were a civilian, you wouldn't be involved in stuff that's not civilian-like things. Gang banging is not civilian. Gang banging is criminal organizations. Facts. Gang banging come with crime. Facts. If you're such a civilian, why are you in gang business? Why are you talking about what gangs ain't gonna do this, that, and the third? Why are you putting yourself in them politics? That alone is copping a plea. The mere fact he's calling himself a civilian is copping a plea. Anytime you hear these goofies online claim they're a civilian after they done talk crazy to some gangs, they're copping a plea. I want y'all to know that. Run up these likes. Share the video. Let's continue.
Now, here's the thing. I could have went to the show on some 6ix9ine shit. I could have.
What does that mean?
6ix9ine wouldn't even win.
What that mean, Act?
What are you talking about?
He said he could have snitched, nigga.
I mean, 6ix9ine on O-Block took a couple pictures and dipped.
Right.
And posted it afterwards, but that's not what I want. I'm not even trying to antagonize them. You get what I'm saying? So, brother, I literally start posting in the concert. Also, if I was, like I'm hoping not to see no one, I knew somebody was going to tell them.
Hey, hold on. So hold on. Antagonizing, not saying I'm going to send you to Tupac, Nipsey, Draco, King Von. That's not antagonizing?
Brother, if somebody said they're going to put hands on you, it sounds like they antagonize you. Absol said when he see me, he's going to slap me. So I told him, after he slapped me, he's going to be at a Juice WRLD and Nipsey concert.
Yo, stop playing on me. So Akademiks a killer. Akademiks a killer then.
No.
Akademiks a killer.
I'm somebody who
He a killer. He got Dirk locked up. Akademiks got Dirk locked up.
Oh, man.
Here's the thing.
Wait, Act, did you have security with you or you don't?
Yeah.
I'm seeing these little key comments, little side comments. So, what's his name? 307 Unk. 607 Unk. I said 306. 607 Unk is saying he got Dirk locked up. In a way, you could say that he did a bit of dry stitching, or he has footage or questions that shouldn't be even questions for Little Dirk on the Off the Record podcast that probably was used by the feds, because the feds use online things to look people and get people put in RICO indictments and what have you. So you might have a point there. Okay. But you say you're gonna send somebody up to see Nipsey, Pop Smoke, and Juice WRLD. You gotta stand on that too, because you just take it to a whole different level. Once the person gonna slap you, so they're not gonna make it out alive. All right, stand on that. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Yes.
How are you rolling?
Brother, I'm rolling. First of all, I'm rolling everywhere with security. I got a lot of ops.
He
And I'm
saw.
rich. The fuck?
Yeah. Man, I was in New York with no security. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. It was getting.
You're King Pill.
No, hold on. I'll tap in with some hood niggas, but I'm also tapping with security.
Man,
Shit, if I could, I'm gonna make sure I have my pistol on me because I'm a licensed carrier.
he lucky ain't from St. Louis. In St. Louis, he's security, we automatically attack.
If I could bring some Charleston White Base, I'm doing that too. again, I move around like my life is in thread, so you gotta just move accordingly. But anyway, it wasn't that type of vibes. Anyway, Anthony Celeb pulled up. Me and we talked. Again, I don't got no problem with TDE, PG Lang, whatever the case is. And then afterwards, Dave Free pulled up.
Yeah.
Okay? I pretty much told the story. I said, listen, this happened. Remember, if I wanted to make it look crazy, I could have ducked off, don't post, take two sneak pictures, dipped out, start trolling online. Didn't do none of that. I got online voluntarily afterwards, and I said, let me tell people what happened, right? Also, I don't know if they were on some funny shit, because when I was having a conversation, I had a conversation with Anthony, and that was good. We exchanged numbers.
Okay, but the part that stood out to me when you were telling the story, everything seemed pretty normal, but then there was one part where you said, I'm not saying that he was crying when you were talking about Dave Free, and it kind of felt like you were saying that he was crying or that he was doing something close to crying.
Yeah, he was crying.
That's like the reverse of a prayer.
Yeah.
But like I'm looking him in the eyes, and it's watery a little bit, but it's not crying. It's
So
like,
what?
I could tell,
Like he was passionate.
He turned up.
Like
He's
he was
bad.
about to cry.
Yeah.
Right, because think about it, like Dave Free, like this was probably more upsetting to Dave Free than anybody else in a sense, because he was not really that much of a public figure, and now like literally everybody in the fucking rap game knows his name and knows about these crazy allegations that they were never proven, but probably a lot of people still have doubts.
Yeah, no, 100%. But here's the thing, and he admitted it too. It's just like, bro, at the end of the day, y'all call Drake a pedophile. Drake said what he said about y'all. He's basically saying homie's kid ain't his. He's making fun of this person. He's talking about, Kendrick's woman and shit like that. Yo, at the end of the day, I'm going to just keep it a bean about both sides.
Yeah, why is Ack responsible?
Hold on, no.
For why is Ack responsible for what Drake said?
Is Ack OVO?
No.
Hold on. Ack, is you OVO?
If I'm an oath nigga, I'm a media person now.
No. Are you OVO? You part of their camp?
Drake my nigga, but I'm not an OVO.
No, it seems like you picked a side, right?
Munchie B is like, he's such a blood that he got to side with these bloods too.
No.
Yeah, he a big blood.
Because I watch academic shit.
They all bloods.
No.
Here's the point.
I watch OVO. No.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Put it like this. I look at like, if any idea that I could get press sounds crazy to me, because I ain't seen now one TDE PG Lang nigga slide on OVO, and I ain't see one OVO nigga slide on PG Lang.
Yeah, it's a rap beef.
Yeah, that's kind of my whole point.
He did choose a side. Munchie B is correct yet again. Are you OVO? He ain't OVO. He can't even be next to Drake just because he said in the past that Drake was being a B when it came to Kendrick in the Control verse. And this was back when Everyday Struggle, back in 2013? Because that was the summer of 2013 when Kendrick was on the Control verse with Big Sean. And Akademiks had an opinion about it, saying, hey man, Drake needs to stop being a B about what Kendrick Lamar said. Ever since then, Drake hasn't forgotten that. Drake likes glazers. That's why Maul can see Drake. I can't see Drake. Maul can see Drake in person. Akademiks is not privileged to be in the presence of Aubrey. At least Aubrey thinks he's above and beyond. Like, if you ain't glazing Aubrey don't want to be around you. That's a fact. Gotta be a glazer gang. He loves his glazers, champ. You went against him before. He don't like that, champ. He never forgets that. But he will use you for whatever you're good for as far as media is concerned. Run up these likes. Let's continue our champ.
Whole point, like, why is Ack accountable?
They have
Because they could get to him. They could get to Ack. They can't get to the boy.
That's weak.
No. They could get to him. They know where that nigga live. Everybody got addresses on public. What I'm trying to say is that, you see, when I look at rap beef, this is why I pull up. Because it can't be that serious to y'all. I've covered Chicago beef where niggas get shot.
What rappers
let me ask you a question, man.
Aunt Hefe has a question. What are you saying, Aunt?
I want to ask him a little question. He said something about
Aunt Hefe has a question.
Man, what's up, Ack? Man, are you kind of going in about West Coast podcasters versus you need to bring some Chicago podcasters to the table or something like that?
What the fuck they gonna do?
Hey,
what about them?
Hold on.
What about them?
Tell you the truth, though. There's too much podcasting happening on the West Coast discussing fades all these other things that's about violence, and I never hear about the violence.
But guess what? Bro, the real podcasters, they not really talking about doing nothing to nobody.
Yeah, no, for real.
The real gangbangers is podcasters. They not talking about hurting nobody.
Yeah, no, for real. And all you gotta do is look at 1 million hits though, because we ain't gonna broadcast a lot of shit.
T-Rail, they talking about fades, this, that, and thirds. Yo, marked out. I've never seen them do shit.
They could barely move around. Never mind fight.
Nah, but
I mean, he's not.
But see, you gotta keep in mind these people that you catching at their podcast stage. What about before they became podcasters?
You think T-Rail got a body?
Wait, what, Adam? What Adam said? Wait a minute. What you said, champ?
You catching at their podcast stage. What about before they became podcasters?
You think T-Rail got a body?
No, I'm not.
Oh, nah. Yo, this is nasty. Why y'all keep talking about people in bodies, bro? Why y'all keep doing that? That's so corny. This is how the indictments start. This is how you're watching in real time how the indictments be starting with these podcasts on the internet. We don't know if T-Rail got a body. That's none of our business. But why are you bringing that up? Adam might be the feds. For real. If you're going to say that's federal. That's incredibly federal. And salute to Munchie B once again. What about them before they was podcasters? You don't know their history. You don't know what they did. All right? T-Rail is a member. Smack was a member. You dig? Smack is schoolboy Q homie. They grew up in the same block and all that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing. You're doing a lot of chatting and you're not going to do anything. If you're such a civilian, why you keep saying you are? Why you keep putting yourself in gang politics? That's because Akademiks knows the dangers of the streets and gangs. That's why he keeps saying, but I'm a civilian though. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. That's copping a plea. All the civilian talk is copping a plea. Always. When 6ix9ine did it, whoever did, but 6ix9ine wasn't a civilian. That nigga got jumped into non-Trey. Treyway. So what we talking about? This is nasty though, gang. I'm serious.
No, I'm not talking
During their
about
mobility phase.
I'm not talking about nobody in particular. I'm talking about West Coast podcasters. Before they put a camera in their face or a microphone, they
Hold on.
I'm talking about they got history before that.
Bro, Smack gets money from the government for just being slow.
No, but I'm not talking about Smack.
Adam, you know what the fuck is wrong with Adam? Adam's going crazy.
Wait, what'd you say?
You don't DJ no more. So it's like we hearing about things that niggas not doing. And again, most of the people giving these opinions are saying whatever. They're saying what should happen.
Nah, for real.
Like, again, we're not hearing about current shit. This is why also I was a little confused by the T-Rail shit, because I'm like, bro, just give your opinion on music. You got a POV that's different from mine. That's cool.
But you gotta understand.
Hey, but he grouped it in West Coast podcast.
They glaze TDE. They are so desperate.
Yeah.
They put all their eggs in the Kendrick bucket. Like they just are gonna glaze Kendrick until one day they get an interview with him. And I think this is the thing you're forgetting about is when you were in LA last time, you pulled up and did a podcast with me, Wack, Trap Laraz, etc. You didn't go fuck with them because this shit is ice cold right now, and I think they hold that against you.
No, that's not even.
Hold on.
First of all, he came to y'all because he was safe. Just like Trap LaRose felt safe, just like Vlad felt safe, just like Wack felt safe, and you felt safe in No Jumper Studio. You're not going to any other West Coast podcast. Akademiks for damn sure ain't going to no other West Coast podcast unless he feels that he is safe there. I don't think Ak has enough rapport at that time to be going to back on Figure or what have you. Maybe if it was less tension, he might have went there, but no, you already have clarified how you feel about the West, the gang members, Kendrick. So you already made yourself a target, right? And on top of that, Adam is just trying to add fuel to the fire because he got smoked with Smack, T-Rail and them. He does. He got smoke with them, all right? There's been beef with them. There's been smoke with them. So he's just trying to put himself in the mix as well. And Wack 100, he just wants the clicks and views on top of that. All right? Adam just wants the clicks and views. He don't even really got smoke with nobody, if we're being honest. He just wants the clicks and views. He wants the clout. That's all this is about, gang.
Hold on, did they
Makes
reach out
sense.
to him?
They probably didn't even bother. I don't know. Maybe.
So you can't say he didn't. No, they didn't reach out to him, so you can't say that.
Nah,
I think they're salty.
Ack wasn't fucking with him.
Here's the thing, though.
Did they reach out?
Don't matter.
You gotta get the client to say something.
Because you were dissing T-Rail and Smack, but I noticed that you weren't saying nothing about AD. I feel like you still feel a closeness to AD.
Just
because
AD.
AD never said nothing about it. Again,
Yeah.
these guys came with a narrative, right, about an event that they
That's
were
what
not.
Brandon try to sound like.
They're saying Act got marked out
I just got it.
by some LA whoever at this show. And
Like
I
Brandon.
wanted to, again, since it feels like West Coast podcasting loves to, litigate
Hey, don't
this
group that
marked
in,
out
bro.
phase.
No.
I'll ask y'all the question. If you a gang member, you gangster, and you supposedly have issues with somebody who's a civilian, who's pussy, who ain't like that, you never show up to where he's at. He shows up to where you're at. Y'all had a conversation. You tell me what's the gangster thing to do after that. Talk about how this is how the conversation went. I was willing to leave it alone. We had a conversation like men, like most men would do. And now I'm hearing T-Rail, and I don't know if they're the mouthpieces for PG Lang or TD, whatever. But now I gotta correct this. I gotta correct
That's
the
Kendrick.
because
Kendrick record label.
again, especially and again, I know y'all from the West who's probably in that room because I know Adam called. Y'all tell me who gets the gangster points.
Well,
Hey, look.
that was my homie Judy got smacked.
Is that what?
Hey, no,
I
but
said if that was my homie, I think they try to be more professional and corporate or whatever TDE. I'm saying, but I don't know, but my group of friends, peers, and homies, it would have been bad because you said you gonna send people to the clouds and all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But if he got touched, he said that.
Absol started that issue with me. This was
No. That's understood. I'm just saying. I think it went that way because they trying to be professional, corporate, whatever. However they did it.
Again, when somebody says that, of course it could go anyway. I don't think those people showed up on behalf of Absol. But here's the point, and I do agree. And that's what I'm saying. When I told the story, I kept it respectful. I never said, and again, maybe I did go a little, again, I didn't mean the dude is crying. I really meant he's passionate. I'm talking about Dave Freeze.
That sounds better.
I could tell him.
That was
Very different.
That was Adam.
Painting narratives, nigga. Made it seem like Dave Fee was crying. Nigga, you did a whole little interview with Patrick CC pretending to be someone who was doing some type of stream farming for Anthony Saleh in order to boost the streams of Not Like Us on Spotify, which was a complete lie. Patrick CC is a YouTuber and he was disguising his voice pretending to be someone else. That's why Anthony Saleh got at you, because Anthony was saying, hey, you tried to make me look crazy, gang. And Drake is putting this in his lawsuit, and as a result, the feds confiscated my phone. That's what Anthony Saleh, Kendrick's manager, was saying. Now you say the nigga was crying. The nigga probably felt some type of way because, like, bro, you trying to ruin my credibility with this nonsense. Like, you guys don't realize that when y'all do this content, y'all actually are ruining people's credibility. You're costing people almost their livelihood based on the fact that people can go to jail or what have you behind lies. Because the feds will use these internet narratives to indict people. And they have, and they've done it. It's a fact. It's not a lie. Crazy, man.
Adam putting extras on the crying, bro.
He said it.
No, but you said it, but you put.
But he said he wasn't crying, but I'm like, why would you say he's not crying? Obviously, none of us are crying.
Nah, if you
I don't
say
think
he's
nobody
not
said it like
crying,
the way you said it though.
but that's implying that he was crying.
So I try to speak on the situation, but here's the thing. I understand the internet has a reputation of me. So they want me to basically just bow down like, oh yeah, they punked me. No, we had a good conversation. I literally said it was a little bit of give and take. Part of what they were saying is like, hey, some of the trolling after the battle, it comes from fans, but some of it comes from, some pages you're associated with. Like, bro, that's unnecessary. And I said, listen, there's things that's being said on the opposite side that's being said that people, because the people that are on my page are like fans as well. That's why it's kind of, and I said, yo, both artists need to get together. Y'all can't come into media, nigga. If y'all artists are saying, yo, why is this man's wife being dragged in it still? Why is this person being dragged in it? Y'all artists gotta lower the tensions among fans. Fans ain't here to make decisions for y'all, neither of the media. So that's why I said they weren't, to me, the energy, especially Dave Free pulled up on me with, it wasn't of a winner. It was somebody who was saying, why is this shit going on like this still? And I'm like, what did y'all think was gonna happen when y'all came out the gate calling him?
So
who's y'all? It's only Kendrick. Maybe if he wasn't weird, then that wouldn't have happened. You ever thought about that? If Drake wasn't a weirdo, he didn't do weird things with minors, because he did do weird things with minors, we wouldn't be having this discussion. So you mad because people are calling out someone for being weird? We call that glazing. We call that glazing. That's what we call it. Glazing. That's what we call that. That's glazing. Shit, you're glazing. That's what you're doing. You're doing that.
Yo, I have another question. It's what do you think T-Rail's strategy is going to be with you? I feel like you did enough that you disrespected them to the point where they got to do something. And we've seen T-Rail handle this in a specific way, which is talking shit and saying you ain't shit, your mama ain't shit, fuck your mama, fuck your kids. I don't think he's going to do that to you, because I think he knows that he'll get packed up. So I think everybody, myself included, is waiting to see what kind of energy he's going to have. Now, if this does become a full-on war, I got a lot of ammunition for you. I got access to the paperwork from his bankruptcy. I'm out here.
Let me save you the suspect.
Adam just want to make T-Rail and them look bad. That's all. That's all Adam's in it for. That's the only reason he would. He just want revenge. That's it. He just want to look good. You just want to look good, man.
There's one thing I don't like about you, Adam, and you my peer, okay? Like you sitting at the same table as me.
I've been going easy on T-Rail. I feel like you might not want to be so easy.
Here's the thing. One thing with you like the guy who's on the varsity team, and you go to the middle school park and try to cook everybody. We don't like that. We don't like the fact that you've been trying to, brother, at a point, like T-Rail or whoever can say, whatever in their response, but if I wouldn't dignify with a back and forth. I'm gonna be honest with you. And the back and forth really is brother, like, you helped keep a lot of things afloat. I'm not gonna do it. That's not my job. You know what I mean? And again, honestly, I don't even have nothing against him. I just had to address, because I seen, some people say they were doing the joking manner, so I shouldn't take it serious. But again, I feel like they're close enough to that situation over there. They're speaking on a conversation and a situation that now I got to start turning up. So now, like, I could have went full troll on it. Like, y'all know I could have left that concert and said, man, them niggas is soft. They pussy as fuck. Nigga, like, I went up in there, nothing happened. Bro, I never did that. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Because that wasn't the tone. But when they start with this, he got marked out, they got told to sit down. That's why I keep telling them there's a video of it. Tell niggas to put the video out. Tell them to put the video out. Not that I'm tough, because everybody knows Akademiks, I'm not tough. But it will show that these people who you think are super gangsters, no, they're just businessmen, bro. Like, we had a conversation like two businessmen. They're probably
hold on. Them being businessmen don't mean they ain't gangsters, though.
Facts. I was just about to say that too. That's crazy. Yeah. Don't get the businessmen confused with, like, they ain't on timing, because they very much could be on timing. Don't get it twisted, gang. All champ. You're wildin'. I could be thinking of things way too surface level. That's the problem with y'all, man. That's the problem with y'all civilian people who keep claiming y'all civilians will want to put yourselves in street business and all that. Y'all keep saying who gangster and who's not, and that's called gaslighting, by the way. You trying to tell somebody what they ate, what they on, what they not, it's gaslighting, because you don't know them. You're assuming, which is gaslighting, by the way.
They're not gangster.
Look, let me ask this question.
I'm not talking about Dave Free.
I'm not talking about back on stage. No, I'm talking about y'all had a conservative conversation.
Respectful.
Yeah, it's a respectful conversation, and that's where we should leave it. You know what I mean? So I didn't leave that conversation saying, oh yeah, I checked them, I did this. Oh, no. So, really, my words didn't really have nothing to, I'm not even giving words to Dave Free or Anthony, because I leave that conversation as men. I'll address the two stooges over there. You know what I mean? I think, I don't know.
The two Stooges.
Fighting with handicaps. Like, I got one nigga who got one leg, one nigga got one hand. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like
6 limbs between the two of them, to be fair.
Yeah, no, T-Rail is definitely a retard.
Damn. Yeah. I don't know why Lush getting involved. Y'all be putting yourself in the mix. Like, y'all throwing, listen, when you jump in, I didn't even know Lush had smoke with him. For real. I ain't know. I was unaware. I know Adam got smoke with him. I don't know if the other co-hosts have smoke with him. But yeah, jumping in the mix, you make yourself a target when you do that, by the way. I'm just saying.
But I think one thing you're forgetting is that his wife is like broke as fuck too. But
Wow.
I'm looking forward to seeing how they play this.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, gang. As you can see, mayhem seems to be afloat. All right. What's gonna happen with this madness? Is Smacky T-Rail gonna clap back? Who actually knows? Did Akademiks hit press? It seems that way. He's pretty much admitting to it. And Adam 22 is just trying to get information out there because he will get a kick out of Akademiks using the information that he wants to get put out there on T-Rail. This being put out there. He wants to see them get made fun of. He wants to see people laugh at them. He just wants to see someone else pretty much drag his ops. That's pretty much it. And Wack is just trying to get clicks and views. It's pretty much that simple, gang. But do the man a favor. Make sure you hit up these likes, smash the like button, share the video. Let me know how you feel in the comments section. If you're new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe. Also join the Discord. The Discord link will be in the chat as well as the comments. All right, we'll have more content later. But special mentions to y'all already. It's the mayor. The one and only real New York mayor, F. Eric Adams, and you're rocking with the town favorite Showface News. It's Big Gotham, and you already know it's the town versus everybody at all times. Make sure you hit the like, make sure you share the video, subscribe to Showface News now. I'm up out of here, gang. Salute.